Hello. Oh, itchy ankle. Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland and this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Yeah, let me bore you to sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Vinny's back there having his dinner. I seem to be covering him up. Okay, that's better. my hairy shoulders. I should cover myself up. This just happens to be the t-shirt that I'm wearing now. It's quite comfortable actually, quite freeing. But I don't know if anyone's been watching some of the newer videos I've been doing. I'm going through a phase of wearing Larry shirts. Like really Larry. I've got two, not Mexican, Hawaiian, two Hawaiian shirts, or bowling, I can't think they're bowling shirts, those kinds of shirts, so I'm going to get more. I think it might annoy some people. That's not why I'm doing it. That's just an extra bonus. So anyway, hi. Today I have created with my own hands 2 recordings. Plus this, but 2 hypnosis-y recordings. One proper full-on requested by Caroline. I think it's Caroline. And it was a request. So what I've done, I'll rub my hands together. I'm probably going to regret doing this. Now Vinny's moaning. Vinny, what are you moaning for? Yeah, I know, I've got to keep my body covered, otherwise people realise that I'm still fat. I know, shush. He's hungry. He's already had some roast dinner, haven't you? Already had well, not a whole dinner, but he had some of mine. And now he's had his own dinner. He's had some cakes, obviously not my cakes. Okay, my cakes. He shares. I've introduced cakes back. Do you know when people have a food tolerance or intolerance, but they don't know what it is? So they kind of take out pretty much everything from their diet, apart from the main staple things. And then they start to introduce the other stuff back. Well, I think that maybe sugar wasn't the problem. And I've started to introduce not sugar, but some sugary objects like the odd biscuit, the odd cake, back, just to see whether or not, because I'm thinking maybe that isn't the reason I was so fat. Yeah. So, oh yeah, on my website now, jasonnewland.com, I have there's a lot of pages on there. There's all the podcasts and all the different stuff like that. But now there is a contact page, but I've also got a request a recording in the menu, and it's highlighted like it's a button on the website, or it's in the menu, which means if you have a recording you'd like me to make, then just go to my website, click on that. I might do another one for Q&A Friday. Ask me a question for Q&A Friday. And I'll start building those questions up, maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, I might regret doing the whole request thing because there's a chance that I could have put excess pressure on myself. It's like every now and then's all right. I don't know if I can't imagine too many people would really contact me anyway, so it's fine. But it's there, so if there's something that I can consider doing. And I've got a podcast which is actually called Requested Recordings. I've only got one uploaded there at the moment, but there's quite a few over the years that I've done. And I'm going to be uploading those as well to that podcast. And that podcast will then have a link on my website. So yeah, it's kind of just about organising my stuff. Just getting it kind of organised a little bit. I suppose it's not a shout out, but sending my love to my little brother, who's him and his girlfriend's dog passed away today. So sending my love out to him and her. I know they're not going to see this, but still. So that's a kind of not very happy news, is it, to be putting on here? I normally try and keep it positive, but it's a real thing that's happened, and it's, yeah, so sending my love to him, and well, both of them. What else is going on in my life? I just watched, and I've got to stop doing this. 2 days in a row, I've watched a real crime interrogation. And these are like beyond serious investigations or interrogations into serious crimes. It's never like shoplifting or a bit of fraud or something like that. It's like, and I found myself the last 2 days being glued to like, Vinny, what? What? Why are you going? What, Vin? Why? What? Vinny, what is it, mate? Sorry, what is it? I can't. What is it? Move your head if you want me to just ignore you. Move your head from side to side. What? I'm not turning around because then everyone can see my massive bald patch. He did say to me, Daddy, why have you got more hair on your back than on your head? Rude. Very rude. Vinny? Why do you always smell of poo? Poo-poo. I'll try and get AI to make an image of him that looks like him, and it never does. It's like, make me an image of a small red Jack Russell with a little bit of white on his chest and on his paws. That's it. And there's a little bit on his neck as well. But predominantly red all over. Apart from his belly, but I don't know if he hasn't got any hair on his belly anyway. And it always comes up with like just completely different kind of dog. Do you reckon I should try sausage dog, Vinny? Maybe then I'll get maybe that's what it is. Maybe he is a sausage dog. Oh, ooh. So yeah, I have been watching those. This is on YouTube, and I'm never going to watch it again. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. It's just awful. So that's it. That's the last time I watched those programs. I've watched them before in the past, and nothing good comes out of it. But I wanted to watch it to the end, which is weird. I just wanted to see what the end result was, because they all start off being nice to the person. You know, the police, like the interrogators or the interviewers. Oh, we know you didn't do anything. We know it wasn't you. I mean, in this one, the police woman was holding the woman's hand, holding her hand. And this person had done beyond what I could talk about. Is beyond what I would want to ever talk about. It's just... And she knew it. So the policewoman knew this, but she had to get it out of her mouth. She had to get her to tell the truth. So she's there holding her hand, stroking her thumb, playing footsie underneath the table. It's like... It's kind of cold, really. Imagine being able to do that. It's a skill set that I can't imagine many people have. I mean, wow. So I'm not going to watch any of those programs again. He's just whining. He does a lot of whining. But I don't know quite why he's such a whiner. Why is it? Anyone? Looks like I should have worn a bra today. This is terrible. I'm trying to make it firm, but... Wonder bra, probably. That's what I need. So yeah, I've done 3 recordings, including this today. This is just a bit of fun, innit? Let me bore you to sleep. Just me shooting the breeze. With the other stuff, the weird thing about it is this, right? The deep sleep whisper hypnosis recordings are among my most popular recordings as far as podcasts go. And YouTube as well, funny enough. So but they seem to be the least popular when I ask my Facebook group what they like. Deep Sleep Whisper seems to be one of the least popular ones that I do. Yet out there, the other listeners, just by views and listens, show that the Deep Sleep Whisper ones are popular. I say popular in consideration with the rest of the stuff I do. I mean, they're not popular in the great scheme of things. I'm not getting millions, but sometimes I get more than 3, and that's popular. Anything above 2 for me is like, wow, that's a good number of people listening in one day. If I can get 7 in 1 week, yeah, it's amazing. Once I got 19 listens in a month, I felt like a superstar. That was a bit Alfred Hitchcocky, wasn't it? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. Welcome. This next story is going to be about an apple and an orange who didn't get on together. I love that tune. Alfred Hitchcock Presents was one of my favourite. It's one of my favourite shows. I rarely see it, but it's just that whole him. Well, that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he definitely had one hell of a mind when it came to that stuff. When he wrote it, he produced it, directed it, everything. Ladies and gentlemen. Here's a weird one. I don't normally get into politics, so no, I'm not going in the direction you might think I'm going. No. I'm going to talk about the leader of my country. At the moment, he's the leader of this country. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? It's looking very strange right now. Well, it's a bloke called Keir Starmer. I've never met anyone called Keir. What kind of a name is that? There's nothing wrong with the name, so where would it originate from? Keir. And his first name was he's been knighted, so everyone used to call him Sir Keir. I thought it was Shakira Starmer. So everyone I'd hear it Shakira. It's like Shakira. The hips don't lie. That's my Shakira impression. And something's come out. There's this whole thing about during lockdown, the Prime Minister did things that he wasn't supposed to do. He went out when everyone else wasn't allowed to go out. And Keir Starmer, who was the shadow, who was in charge of the opposition at that time, said, he said, because he was he was under investigation as well, because he was accused of being out when he shouldn't be. And I think he said, if Mr. Speaker, if it is found out that I did in fact break the rules, I will stand down. And that was what? A couple of years back. 3 years ago? 4 years? I don't know. That's a while back. And then, today, or yesterday, it was very recently, accusations have come out that he did in fact, it was a different situation, a different thing, but he did have a member of the public come in to the House of Commons or the chambers or something during lockdown when he wasn't supposed to be seeing other people. And this person was his speech therapist, his acting voice actor therapist, whatever you want to call it. So she was teaching him how to speak. So he had all this, voice coaching and stuff to improve his speaking. And they said, is it true, Prime Minister, because now he's Prime Minister, isn't he? Shashira Kama, whatever your name is, Prime Minister. So you had voice lessons, acting lessons. How did it go? How long did you had them for, 6 weeks? And apparently he put her on as part of the emergency staff, this voice acting coach. I'm making a little bit of this up. I'm filling the dots in, as it were. And someone asked him and said, Prime Minister, I was wondering if you could just tell us how having the voice coaching has helped you with your elocution and your speaking, in public speaking. And he said, well, I think it's been really good. It's helped me a lot to speak more clearly and to have a much nicer tone in my voice. Mr. Speaker, I think it is very important that we as a Prime Minister, that I talk the way I do, because, Yeah. Here's my question. Why does every single Prime Minister, pretty much that I've known, have all had weird voices? Like quite strange. You had Margaret Thatcher. Okay, that wasn't a good impression, but she had her voice. Then you had John Major. Mr. Speaker, my name is John Major. He spoke like that. I like John Major, actually, for some reason. I just thought he was quite cool. But yeah, that's that voice, speaking voice. And then who do we have next? After John Major, we had Tony Blair. And it's like, hey everybody, let's go do this. And now, hey, yes, that's how it should be. And like weird speaking mannerisms. And then after him, we had Gordon Brown. No one could understand what he said. The only time he actually spoke clearly was when they were rallying for the upcoming election. He was the Prime Minister and he wanted to stay in. And he was Labour. He'd taken over from Tony Blair. And he'd just been speaking to an elderly lady on the streets, like, she was going around as they do, and he got into his car and he started talking about this lady, but he still had his microphone on, so it was recorded. And he was saying, she's a racist old lady, very racist. It was a bit of a growler, whatever his name was. And then we had, blimey, who did we have? David Cameron. That's my David Cameron. So he had a weird voice. And then and then after David Cameron, blimey, who did we have then? We had so many Prime Ministers. We had 3 in 1 week once. It's an exaggeration, but I think we did actually have 3 Prime Ministers in 2 months. So we had, what's her name? I quite liked her. She used to be a dancer. Well, she used to dance. So she had a kind of strange voice. And then, they're very uptight. Oh, what he's doing over there. And then Boris Johnson took over. I mean, no one in the world talks like that. I can't believe someone called him an albino gorilla. That was rude. Can't believe that. But, I suppose politics, people are rude towards politicians for some reason. I think they're brilliant. And then after him, really? So after him, we had, what's her name, who lasted for about, what did she last? 16 days? He's found something to destroy. Bless him. And then we had, what's his name? So it's been too many to remember the names. So we had the last Prime Minister who came in. So basically, Boris, and then what's her name that was in for a short while, and then the former is that forgettable? It's terrible, isn't it? Another bloke, I forget his name now. I did know his name at the time. It's just gone out of my head. But he was tiny. He was about 4 foot tall, which is fine. You could hold him in your hands. In fact, that's what they did. Held him in his hands and just like used to speak. Hello, everybody. Hi. And he'd be like that, and it was very cute. It was very cute. And there was one point when he actually was doing a talk, and I think he was announcing the coming election that he lost to Shakira. And Shakira, and it got rained on. Now, he didn't have a brolly. No one brought a brolly over his head. He didn't need it. All he needed was like one of those little cocktail brollies. That would have covered him. Or he could have just stood underneath. In fact, if he'd have moved around a little bit, he probably could have dodged the rain drops. Very small. What was his name? He got a lot of flack. But he had... Really, Vinny? He's just... Did you hear what he dissed, didn't it? And then just pushed it away. Like, don't like this anymore. Don't like this game now. Oh no, he's gone back for more. I think because it's a ball, it rolled away. And he's not pleased with that. So now we've got Shakir. So the previous Prime Minister, he had a squeaky voice. Hello, my name's the Prime Minister, yeah. Like, a bit like that. I don't know if it's because they have their collars so tight on their necks that it restricts their vocal cords. Maybe that's what it is. Or because maybe they talk with the pronunciation of their mouth. And so they're not actually talking from their throat, they're talking from their mouth, maybe. Because if you talk through your mouth, yeah, maybe. And the pronunciation, the amount of people in the Commons, and these like MPs that talk, and all you can see is their bottom teeth. And talking like that. And it's, I don't know what that is. I mean, I didn't really do much learning how to articulate myself or how to pronounce or pronunciate or, you know, things like public speaking, although I have done in the past a lot of public speaking when I was younger. But then this is public speaking, kind of, in a way. Maybe. I don't know. Tired. It's a tiring day. So it's Monday. I woke up fairly early today and boxing was on. So it was Clarissa Shields was defending her heavyweight title on last night. Well, this morning, early hours here. Last night in America. And it's kind of weird because it's the second time. No, what I did is by the time I got to it, it was nearly over, the live broadcast. So I decided I'll just watch the last fight. And they'd already had about 7 rounds, so I just clicked on round 1 and watched it from there. I won't say who won because you might not have seen it, so I don't want to spoil it for you. And the thing is, I had a similar thing with the David Benavidez fight on Sunday morning. So it was Saturday night in America. I got to I basically clicked on the thing. It was on Sky. Went to the front, to the the beginning, and I thought, no, it wasn't on Sky. It was on Prime Video, so I could watch it back later. So I thought, I wonder where we are in the live. So I went live, and they were literally just about to start the fight. They were introducing the fighters, the main card. David Benavidez and David Morrell. Wow, that's like perfect, absolutely perfect. So I sit there with my ready brick, watching David Benavidez and David Morrell slug it out. I can't tell you who won because that would be spoiling it for those that don't know. I'll revisit it in 10 years and I'll talk about it, because it might be too soon. Look at this. Tap roots. I don't know if this is backwards because of the camera. I used to read a lot of William O'Hanlon, or William Hudson O'Hanlon. I read quite a few of his books years ago. He's very much a student of Milton H. Erickson. I mean, this is all about Milton H. Erickson, his techniques and stuff. And once I get my glasses sorted, I'm going to be able to get back to reading. Because even now, even with these, I'm looking through the parts that are for reading. It's still not very clear. Okay, that's better. Can't see it at all. So I can see it when it gets down to the bottom, but when I can read it, Erickson did not really have a formal theory of how problems arise or of psychopathology. The closest he came was his view of rigid behaviour. He observed the rigidity in patients' beliefs and behaviour and considered it pathological. Where rigidity has been, he seemed to be saying, let there be flexibility. If flexibility were introduced, the pathology would disappear, or at least be very diminished in its detrimental effects. To this end, Erickson often elicited a quite detailed description of the presenting problem from the client, and then used that information to devise an intervention that would alter. I just thought I heard someone knocking at the door, so I had to go and check. But it wasn't. But there was someone knocking somewhere. And because I've got the phone off, I got up for nothing. Oh well. I don't know what I was talking about. Now I know. Oh, I was reading out of this book. Oh. Right. Oh, never mind. That's what I need to do. I need to get my eyes tested. I need to go to the opticians, book an appointment, and then go, obviously, do it in that order. Just get an eye test. And the only thing is, I'm going to need new glasses. I know. Do you know when you know? You know when you know. My eyesight has. It's not improved, put it this way. So I'm going to need, and I don't want to wear these. I've got trifocals here, but they mix together. So the top bit is for distance. The middle bit is more for, I think, well, I've only got 2 levels. I think maybe it's only 2 now. So the top bit is for distance and the bottom bit is for reading. Neither of them are great. I can read that size text really easy, but I suppose most people could. I mean, that's the size you get when you're like 3 or 4, isn't it? That would suit me. But I kind of miss my books. It's something I've noticed. There's some stuff missing from my life. There's a few things, but some things as far as that I used to enjoy doing that I don't do as much. I'm still doing things I do enjoy. Like I do enjoy working on this stuff and hopefully helping people, hopefully being of use. And I had a lovely message today from someone telling me that my recordings is not only helpful for falling asleep, but also is kind of company as well. It can be company. So that's nice to know. And but however, not but however, but also, therefore, and reading something that I did a lot of. And I'm thinking, get myself some proper eyeglasses for reading, proper reading glasses. Instead of just, because what I did is I got 2 pairs. I got one free. It's expensive. I got a free eye test, but all of like because these are Acta lenses, Acti Light, because they saw in the back of my eyes potentially the start of macro degenerative whatever. My nan had it, my dad has it, I think my uncles and aunts have it, so it's definitely on my father's side of the family. So I do need to kind of take care of my eyes, which I'm probably not in a way that, in the sense that most of the things I do involves my eyes. Not when I'm in a toilet or when I'm asleep, but when, looking at a computer, watching TV, making videos, making audios, editing, all that stuff is my eyes. Well, I have my fingers as well. But you know what I mean, as I'm using my eyes. So if I can get some decent reading glasses, doesn't really matter what they look like. They don't have to be Acta Light or anything like that, because I'll only be reading indoors. And the normal lens glasses, these ones, which will just be for outside, or for every day, they'll also have to have a light turn, because they turn dark when I'm outside, even in the winter. I think from what someone said, some people think that I'm walking around in sunglasses, which I'm not. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of cost involved in this whole thing. And I might say, like, maybe I need to get a separate pair of glasses for computer work, or look at getting some kind of anti-glare screen. Maybe starting to look after my eyes a little bit better, because I'm heading towards middle age, Ooh, I can hear lots of people being very loud in the garden. Very, very loud. Wah, 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 wah. They're that close to each other. Wah, 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 wah. That's an impression. I don't know what else has happened. Yeah, this weekend really, because the last time I made a Let Me Bore You to Sleep recording was on Friday. It was a Q&A Friday, and I'm trying to tense my arm, but it's not working. Damn it! I have to keep my arms covered in the future. That's a weird, but the bodybuilding look. Quite often they look like they've got bosoms, don't they? The bodybuilding men. But when they take the top off, it's just complete muscle. And it's sort of surprising. I'm just saying that maybe I've got a nice chest and it's muscle. It just looks like fat. You don't know. You can't see. It's not like I'm ever going to take my top off, is it? No. Although I have. In the past, I've done a recording with my top off once. But I think the screen went up to about mid-chest, so you couldn't see. You couldn't see what was underneath. You couldn't see the sag. The saggy bits. Wow. I don't know, maybe I need an uplift. If I was going to have surgery, if I was going to have cosmetic surgery, the last thing I'd be focused on is my body. It'd be straight face first, wouldn't it? Obviously. I don't know why. I think the thing is, unless I look in the mirror, I forget what I look like, and I just assume that I'm kind of all right. I look okay. I forget, and I walk around like everything's normal. So yeah, I did. This weekend really's been a bit lazy. Maybe didn't do any recordings on Saturday. I don't think I did any recordings on Sunday either. But today I've made up for it. 3 recordings. Wow. And you know what? It's not even late. It's about 7:30. I think it's about 7:30. I think it was about 20 to 7 when I started this here recording. It would make more sense just to spread it out a little bit. But I just get so damn excited. Whenever I make a new recording, I just want to put it out there, and it could be my masterpiece. Never is, never has been, but it could be. This could be my masterpiece. This could be the piece of work, my piece of art that changes the environment of podcasts and recordings and sets everything on a different direction and changes the world. Or it could be listened to by a few people and then forgotten. That's more likely to happen. Yes. In a way, I probably would have been better off doing 1 recording a week. As far as an audience retention, build up the audience, and, okay, I'm going to release a new one on a Friday. Every Friday, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Just 1 recording. Now, the problem with that is I have these little moments where I want to get busy with the fizzy, and I want to just make recordings, and I have an idea, and I think, yeah, I want to go with that and do this, and then something else. I kind of like I suppose being on a roll, kind of like I want to do the next one. Let's do something else. And often the only reason I don't make a recording is because of the noise, because there's too much going on outside, too much going on downstairs. I don't know. Just if if there's building work being done, which has been a little bit over the last few months, not a huge amount, but I can always find an excuse, basically. And if there's, I don't know, if there's something being done, there's banging and that, and I just don't know when it's going to start and stop, and it can be heard at the microphone because it's quite loud sometimes. Earlier, I did a recording, and it was the first one of the day, and this little one decided to chew on a bone. And instead of being over there on a chair, because remember, I don't know if you remember, but when I first started doing these videos again, like live ones, or me on camera, he was sitting back there on the chair. He was happy to be over there. Now he won't sit over there. He has to sit right by my chair. He has to sit with me. He has to sit at my feet, or lay down and go to sleep right next to me. And I thought that was one of the good things about doing videos, so people can see him on the settee, like playing around and looking and stuff, like he did at the beginning of this. Oh well. I miss those times. 35 minutes ago, I missed that. Oh, I feel really nostalgic for half an hour ago. I don't know why he wants us to lay down next to me. I mean, he acts like he doesn't even like me, but he doesn't want me to leave him on his own. He follows me around. I can't figure him out. I really can't. The one thing I would like, I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I would like to get a place with a big garden for him, so he can have a proper run around, like a real, without worrying about other dogs running up to him or anything like that, because unfortunately that's what we've got at the moment in the parks, in the fields. A lot of dogs off the leads, and I'll say a lot of big dogs. Most dogs are big compared to him, but there are a lot of big dogs, and he doesn't like big dogs generally. He's got a few friends that are big, but he's got a bit of an issue with big dogs. So it'd be really nice to have a garden. It doesn't have to be a big garden, to be honest, just a garden, because even an average sized garden is still quite big for him because he's so tiny. But it would be nice to have a big garden, something that he could have a real proper run around, and I can chuck a ball and he can run for like 200 yards or whatever. I don't know, that's the correct amount. No, maybe not 200 yards, but I mean, not necessarily the size of a football pitch, but maybe that's quite a nice size, isn't it? That is quite big actually, though. Football pitch is quite very big, isn't it? I'm thinking probably more of a five-a-side rather than like a full pitch. But for him, it'd be cool for him. I don't know. I do have these ideas. What's going to go on in the future? What's going to happen? I mean, there's, again, I don't want to get into politics, but there's a lot of talks about changes being made for people like me. And I don't know how that's going to affect what I do or what I can do. And the weird thing about it, again, without going into details, because I said that this is supposed to be light-hearted, I was listening to this radio show, and I think it was a politician came on and said, well, people on benefits, they need to, at the very least, make a contribution to society. And aren't I doing that? I mean, I know that person wasn't aiming it at me, just everyone, a blanket aim. Fire! But I feel that, okay, I might not be. I remember saying this to my social worker a few years back. And saying, I do feel, I don't feel like I'm contributing to my local society, to my local area, necessarily. But to the larger area, what I do, I feel, is contributing to society. It's just the society is a much wider area for me. It doesn't just include Liverpool and Manchester and London and Scotland and Wales and Norfolk and Suffolk and Ipswich and Essex and Somerset and all the different places. Also includes Ireland and America and Canada, South Africa, New Zealand, Germany, France, just all over the place. Iraq, Dubai, Thailand, the Philippines. It's like nearly every country, someone's listening to me. It's 3 people. But they move around a lot, those 3 people. So that's contribution. That's a contributing to society, I do believe. It's just not necessarily contributing to this society, my local society. And it's not contributing financially, I guess. Well, it's not. I'm not contributing financially, but maybe I'm helping people in a way that is beneficial. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just going to seem a little bit weird if I'm kind of forced away from this, because this is all I've got. And I don't spend all day watching television. I don't. So on my good days, I do lots of recordings. On my less than good days, I do very little. So I make the most of the good times and get as much stuff done as possible. Although I won't be doing anything else today. 3 is enough. 3, and it's 3 full recordings. It's not like I did I could have done a 5-minute recording. I don't really do 5-minute recordings generally. There's not many things I spend doing 5 minutes. I spend not many times. Not many times I spend 5 minutes doing. David Benavides, he just, at the end of his fight, that he might have won or not, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you. It's his Saturday night or Sunday early hours here in the UK of England. The person asked him, the interviewer, at the end of the fight, asked him, what did they ask him? But they asked him a question and he said the words back to front. Which I thought, did I mishear that? And I rewound it. So he said the words back to front, not like, not like that. I mean, the sentence structure. Instead of, I'd like to thank my friends, I'd like to friend my thanks. As an example, it wasn't that. But I thought, wow. And it just shows that, like, because I knew what he meant, it didn't matter. I mean, it wasn't a personal issue for me anyway, but because he's one of my heroes, my boxing heroes, he's phenomenal. But it's just like, wow. The interviewer didn't say anything, didn't correct him. I mean, you'd be a little bit silly to correct someone like him anyway, especially when they've just had a big fight, But I can imagine some people would want to correct in a real life situation. Don't you mean you're like to thank your fans, not friends, fans, your thank. Hey. As an example. Oh, my back. Oh. Oh. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I started doing I talked about doing the leg raises when I'm in bed. I've upped it to 100 because 50 is just not enough. So I do have muscles in my stomach area. They're very camouflaged, very well camouflaged, but they are there. So I could do 100 leg raises, and even then it's not like I could do more, but 100 is enough, 50, I could do more. Shall I do more? But 100 is like, I could do more, but I won't. I don't need to. 100's enough for now. So what I do, I try and do it maybe 2-3 times a day. I do 100 leg raises. And with the squats, I've increased it to 110. Started off on about 10, and then just built it up over the months. I do it with weights, and as I do the weights, I'm also moving my wrists just to kind of strengthen my wrists and my forearms. But it's really weird because what would have been easy even 10 years ago, especially 20 years ago, all I had to do is just a bit of exercise and the muscles start popping out. Now, not so much. Weird. Who'd have thought? I could have kept my body like that if all I had to do is just exercise. It wasn't even an eating thing, because if I exercise regularly, I probably wouldn't have put the weight on. Or if I did, it would be, perhaps I would have done. But I noticed when I did boxing, I didn't change my diet at all, and I lost weight and I put on muscle. I was doing weights and I had a punch bag in the garden, and I was 38, so I wasn't like a young person even then. But I did get toned up, and I was doing crunches, I was doing leg raises and push-ups and weights, and on a punch bag every night, and training twice a week in the boxing gym. And I didn't change anything that I did. No, anything I was eating or drinking, still the same. And I didn't so much lose weight, but I did lose fat. So my stomach went down, and I just, kind of bulked up a little bit. I mean, I was a lot lighter back then than I am now, which is weird. I'm not a lot, I don't know. Probably a stone. I'm probably a stone heavier now than I was back then. It's not a lot in it, I don't think. No. But I still haven't put that stone on though. Because I was 16 stone and now I'm just under 15 stone. I was 14 and a half and it's kind of gone up a little bit. And I don't know. I like to fool myself that it's muscle. Because muscle is what overweight people say. Muscle weighs more than fat. That's why I put weight on. It's muscle. I mean, it might be true, but if muscle weighs more than fat and you put weight on, I'll put it this way. A 14 stone, someone of my weight that's all muscle compared to someone of my weight that's like me, we're going to look very different. That person's going to look a lot slimmer. They're going to look smaller. Not muscly wise, but they're going to look smaller because there's more mass with fat. I don't know. Or they might look bigger. It's one of them. They will look either bigger or smaller. I can't remember which. One of them. But yeah, I'd love to be able to do a video in the summer and just be sitting here and like, ooh, you know, not with my top off because I think they should be covered. But in a, I don't know, you know, like just maybe do lots of exercise first and just come in and just like keep flexing as I go like that and flexing and just like, you know, I don't know. Maybe by the summer. The weird thing is, if you do weights, it does actually pump the muscles up, so it doesn't last forever. But yeah, that's my arm. See, I can push a hole in it. That's how muscular I am. Mind you, the fact that the hole doesn't stay there means that my skin's still got some elasticity to it, I guess. Ow! Ow! I think this arm's actually a bit stronger. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just bored, I think. Have you got quite bored to record yourself, to film yourself poking yourself in the arm and the shoulder? Is this a new low? I don't know. No, it's not. I can go much lower. I did have a chocolate dessert today. One of those chocolate buttons, mousse things. Oh, but it's so little. I mean, they don't last hardly at all. It's just, I think they're like baby size, honestly. But they're so yummy. I had it up, but I had vegetables first. So it was like my treat for eating semi-healthy food. That's the way I see it. Yeah, it's the way I see it, man. So, I'm tired. Yeah. I could go to sleep. I could very easily just... Don't know what that means. That's me. That's what I do when I'm asleep. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me today. I do have an ASMR Deep Sleep Whisper video on YouTube coming out at midnight tonight. So look out for that if you want to see me on video. Even though I recorded that first, I might release this. Mind you, I might not release this till, I might not do this till tomorrow. I'll see how I feel. I'll see how things go. So thank you very much. I'm off now. So remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself. Lots of love. Bye. And he gets up straight away. As soon as I say, be kind to yourself, lots of love, straight away he's up. See ya.